and welcome to Inside the Circuit, the show that brings you all the latest news and insights from the world of Roborace, tech, and auto. I'm Safin Praval, coming to you again, live from on the Central Coast of California. I suspect the studio will be revamped eventually, and I'll be in the office again, but no complaints here. I hope you guys don't mind. And for the newcomers to Roborace, welcome. If you didn't already know, Roborace is the world's first fully all-electric autonomous racing series. We just finished round 9 and 10 of Season Beta of the championship. Teams have been learning a heck of a lot of stuff, experimenting with the cars, and all for science and progress. Once we're out of the beta test stage, teams will start racing in Season 1 later this year. Maybe we'll even see some wheel-to-wheel racing action. I can't wait for that. Before we get into it today, just wanted to bring you up to speed on one of these big latest news articles that came out yesterday. Let's talk about that. Interesting, self-driving vehicles could be allowed on the UK roads by the end of this year with restrictions. The UK Department of Transport said that automatic lane keeping systems, aka ALKS, will be the first type of hands-free driving legalized in the UK. The technology controls the position and the speed of the car in a single lane, and it will be limited to just 37 miles per hour to start with, which is around 60 kilometers per hour. Following a consultation last year, the UK government has now said that vehicles with ALKS technology can be legally defined as self-driving. Really interesting. The Highway Code in England is now consulting on what rules will be put into new laws to make sure the technology is safely used. Chief Executive of the Society of Motor and Manufacturers, Mike Hawes, said automated driving systems could prevent 47,000 serious accidents and save 3,900 lives over the next decade through their ability to reduce the single largest cause of road accidents. Guess what that is? Of course, human error, right? So my take on this is that this is a great step forward in the right direction. The tech has already been there for a while. It's just the legislation hasn't caught up to it. So it's just great. We're actually seeing an ease up on the restrictions. Because I know for my experience with Tesla, having a Tesla here in the US, there's little restrictions in place to allow the advancement of the technology, which is awesome. And this technology is there to save lives, and I think that's what everyone at Roborace is striving towards as well in this racing environment. So we should see like these higher speeds lifted. Like I know it's going to go to 70 or 80 miles per hour eventually. 37 miles per hour is still really good for like when you're stuck in traffic. You can't really do anything or go anywhere. So that's definitely going to relieve a lot of people. So I'm really excited about that. Now, getting back to today's show. We wanted to introduce you to some of the folks who work super hard behind the scenes to bring you Roborace each week. It's really not that easy trying to bring a new motorsport to the masses. It's really challenging. I've seen what goes on with my own eyes here, and there really are a lot of challenges with the tech, but everyone loves it here. We wouldn't be here otherwise, including myself. It's awesome. And later in the show, I've got an exclusive interview with ex-Formula E champion, Lucas Di Grassi. Lucas has been working with us for a couple of years on a very special project, which I can't wait to talk about later. But for now, let's take a closer look at our devbot guide.
This is devbot 2.0. At the core is a Ginetta LMP3 chassis, a class-dominating prototype that was stripped of everything: drivetrain, engine, gearbox, and driver. Roborace took the core chassis and fitted a bespoke electrical powertrain, cutting-edge sensor technology, and, using innovation from the farthest reaches of autonomous driving, created a custom-made racing platform capable of competing on track by itself. It's an all-electric racing car, generating over 350 bhp and able to sustain speeds of 150 miles per hour in full autonomous mode. It has 4 types of autonomous driving sensors: GPS, LiDAR, camera, and radar. It needs all of them to accurately drive itself at these ultra-high speeds on track. With a small nod to its Le Mans ancestry, the devbot can be fitted with a human driver's seat to help accelerate the pace of learning when not in competition mode. But this is race weekend, and human drivers are not welcome in this motorsport. This is Roborace.
Guide for Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which is currently home to Roborace and Season Beta. While we have some of the team in Moscow, some in London, we also have the department overseeing the event on the ground in Vegas. It's seriously like no joke transporting all this equipment and crew around. Shortly, we'll talk to the guy in charge of logistics over there, Mr. Andrew Davis. But first, let's take a closer look at the track in Las Vegas.
Just 15 miles north of the iconic Strip sits the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a state-of-the-art racetrack that hosts everything from NASCAR to the NHRA World Series, and now Roborace. The Season Beta Championship continues on the outside road course. This 1.8-kilometer track features 14 demanding turns that are sure to push each team to the limit. The start line sits on the track's longest straight, so the teams get an immediate chance to build some speed. Turn 1 is a fast right-hand kink. Turns 2 and 3 are typical of this complex and challenging racetrack, closely packed together alternating turns that will punish any cars that drift offline. Turn 4 is one of the longest on track, a seemingly endless left-hander that requires cars to stay tight to the inside line. Turn 5 is another switchback, this time heading right. The exit of 5 is vital, as it's here where teams can once again build some serious momentum. If the ADS perfectly balances its position and speed, turn 6 and 7 can be taken in almost a straight line. Out wide for turn 8 and hard on the power through 9. Turns 10 and 11 and then 12 and 13 form a tricky complex, rewarding the best line with a high-speed lunge towards turn 14. As the teams exit, they are once again facing the longest straight on track, so it's hard on the power and across the line.
I don't know about you guys, but that track is awesome. Can't wait to get back out there. But I'm now joined here with Chief Operations Manager Andrew Davis. Hey, Andrew, thanks so much for joining us today. Where the heck are you right now?
Yeah. Hey, Soph. Good to see you again. Hey. I'm back in LA. Finally had a few days to relax after the last event, so have been back here just outside our headquarters for the last week or so. So it's good to be back.
Fully recovered from Mission 4?
Yeah, I've had some time to get some rest. I've also talked with a few members from our team locally in the last couple of days, and they've had some time to get some rest as well. So it's good to have a little bit of a breather before jumping into the next one.
Definitely. And how did that mission compare to some of the previous missions and like the issues that you guys had in the past? And did you get it fixed?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a technical team, as a team in general, we're constantly learning. So that's what I find exciting about this work in general is just it's constantly innovating. I'm constantly learning something new. So I wouldn't say that we've fixed all of the issues, but I don't think there would ever be a point that we would. I think just because of the fact that we are innovating so many things. We're basically glorified problem solvers on our end. So that's kind of the way that we always looking for problems, looking for new solutions. Yep. Yeah.
Cool. So for people not familiar with what you do, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your role, what it entails, and some of the things that you do daily.
Yeah. So I've been working with Roborace for about 6 months now as sort of an operations director on the US side for Arrival USA as well as Roborace mainly. So that entails a few different things, but my main focus right now is making sure our events are up and running, making sure our broadcast teams are good to go, trying to keep the communication flow happening between all of our teams, both locally and abroad, and making sure everybody's across as many platforms as possible. So putting the right people in the right places, and again, identifying areas that we're seeing problems and trying to find solutions for those.
And what is like one of the biggest challenges of your role, do you find?
I think the biggest challenges right now are, we're still coming out of this, we're just starting to come out of this world where travel has been really limited and restricted lately. So normally we would have, a lot of our key players here on site together, working with each other, constant communication and identifying problems and working through those together. We've found a lot of ways to do that remotely. But there's a difference with that human element with everybody being together. So I would say that's one of the biggest challenges is time zone differences and trying to stay in contact as much as possible.
Right, because we got people in the U.S., London, Moscow, even, trying to coordinate. Some people probably like a night or something. Really cool.
Yeah, all different regions.
Yeah, what's it like there? So you've been on the ground in Vegas, where with the heart of the action. What's the atmosphere like there, and what does it feel like for those who can't make it in person?
So I think being in site is really exciting. It's one of the best parts that I like about my job. One of the main things about being on site at a racetrack is how big it is. That's one of the things that I'm constantly in awe of each time is, how long it could take to fix one simple problem. Like, let's say, for instance, the tilt is off on camera 7. We've got to run out and make sure that that's fixed and that's level and that's in line, and we have to wait our turn on the track with the vehicle operations team. And we could take 15-20 minutes to do a simple adjustment like that, and then we come back to find out that the audio is disconnected on camera 5 or something like that. So it's dealing on site and being in a big area. Small things could turn into bigger things, or just more time consuming than would normally be. But it's exciting to see the cars in person and be there.
Awesome. And then did you know, like at the start of doing this, that it would be Roborace and your team handling all these things, like not having any third-party help? What were your thoughts when you realized that you have all this stuff to take care of?
As being a production director for about the last 10 years or so of my career is a lot of experience in that, and being able to identify those projected issues in advance is kind of what I really try to do when I'm helping plan out an event. So we've started to build a good local team of just on-site assistants that can help jump in and figure that out, whatever the issue is. So it's kind of, you roll with the punches, you see different areas that might come up that you need some help with, and go from there.
Awesome. So now that you got a little bit of a breather, like you were saying, until the next mission, what are you going to be doing, and what are you planning? And I hear Roborace is getting a new office, which is why I don't have anywhere to film except my house. So yeah, what are you guys up to?
We're still heavy into planning and preparations for the next mission. So like I've said, a lot of the past events have just been a lot of testing, new equipment, new procedures, new workflows, new signal paths, and finding out what works and what doesn't. So we still have a lot of sourcing, a lot of new equipment that we're bringing in all the time, and so testing of that. We're setting up our new studio in LA currently as well, so putting some time into that design and that facilitation, as well as planning our projections for the remainder of the year. We have some new updates that are going to be happening for our next race in June. Potentially different, some changes to the track layout. So we'll be doing new mapping of the track over the next week, figuring out what works and what doesn't, determining new camera positions. We're nonstop, even when we're not on site.
Awesome. Really can't wait for that. Well, thanks, Andrew. That's all we have time for right now. And really appreciate it, man, for joining us. Take care.
Yeah, good to see you, Zach. Thanks.
You too, man. All right, so now you guys are experts on behind the scenes at Roborace. Let's take a look at another part of the weird and wacky Roborace productions. You should all know about the metaverse now. Today, we're lucky to be blessed with the co-founders of Berry Cinema, live from their headquarters in Hackney Wick, London. Berry Cinema is Roborace creative partner in crime. These guys help the vision of the metaverse and events and our digital platforms. They make them come to life. Hey, they're there. Hey, what's up, Lou? What's up, Ryan? AKA the Berry Boys.
I know. That's replace this just in case you forget.
How would you even know, so?
What's the chances? Yeah.
Well, my camera's kind of right in the middle of the screen, so it's like blocking.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a coincidence. But look, it's a bit weird being on here, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm thinking more finally.
It's great to have you.
It's like
how'd you guys get into this? Tell us all about it.
What into this TV space here?
In this little box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'll be honest. We are Roborace's creative partners. We're Berry Cinema. Luke and I are the co-founders.
Yeah.
And we're the perfect partnership, really, with Roborace because we sort of bring gaming together.
Yeah, we're quite a visual company. We specialise in visual effects, CGI, animation, and as Ryan just mentioned, even these boxes we're in, we've designed all those as well. The lower third, I'm just checking this out.
They look good in these that we make on the TVs.
Yeah. Brilliant. It's a little choppy for me. Hopefully it's okay for you guys viewers at home, but I just noticed a little choppy. But first question I got for you guys, so let's talk a little bit about the metaverse. How have you guys seen it develop since the beginning, like way back in season alpha to now?
Yeah, I mean, so in season alpha we did hear about the metaverse, and we was on location a lot, traveling around Europe really with season alpha and Roborace. And that one was no metaverse. So
this was real cars on track. So as you see in this VT, there's 2 real physical cars on the track, which 2 university teams, I think, that was rival and university, which was interesting, wasn't it? To see.
And look, there was talk of the metaverse, sort of thinking, surely not. This, although the Roborace is unbelievable, and yes, they're tech geniuses, but we thought, surely this can't be.
Of course, that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. So what are some of the limitations for the graphics? Like I know that some of the ghost cars are floating, and can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what do you guys have to work with?
Yeah, I mean, on location in Las Vegas, which is where Season Beta is, we're sort of taking Unreal Engine objects, which is the metaverse, designed all in-house by Roborace, and we're implementing them into a content strategy throughout all of Roborace's digital platforms.
They're a lot of fun. They're quite cute, these little characters. I think it started off, it was like some cute little stars and little balls, and they were like really quite sweet. And then they've sort of advanced as each mission's gone on, and they're a bit more like human now. They're actual like bipedal, they have arms and legs, and they're proper advancing every mission. I'm interested how they're going to keep going.
Yeah, and I mean, look, soft for us, like, Roborace pushed the boundaries of autonomy.
Sorry, can you guys repeat that? we just lost a little bit of your video. It was like it's you guys are probably just saturating the internet or something.
It's classic live, isn't it? We're not ready.
Oh, we hear you now.
We're back.
Okay, all right. Look, the metaverse and Roborace, they're pushing autonomous, but really over here, we're also pushing the creative arm of Roborace too.
We're having a lot of fun with the metaverse, but we've got clips where we're playing pranks on the metaverse and we're putting them in the real world. We're trying to make them feel like they're very real, basically, and not just some virtual objects.
That's really cool. Yeah, they definitely feel like they're alive and dynamic when I'm watching it. It's really cool. So what kind of cool things, creatives and content should we expect to see in the next mission or even beyond?
I was going to say with these metaverse objects, you should see some of the sounds when we do it here. It's ridiculous. It's like me and Ryan with a microphone, like,
And you know what? There's some really cool stuff coming up. There's a whole sort of music scene that's developing within Roborace, which is honestly awesome. It's brilliant. So whenever we're creating content, it's also making me think about the music and the sound design now as well, which Roborace is creating. And I think some of the music actually within this live show now is designed and created and produced by the Roborace music team.
Yeah,
which is surely a first of its kind.
And visual effects are nothing without good sound design or music. That's going to be straight away VFX 101. So it's great to have such a good music partner to work with.
Yeah, and so look, Roborace isn't all about Season Beta. It's we've got the Robo Car, we've got the Lucas Challenge, and I know that Lucas is starring in the show later today. And I think the next few weeks we'll see Lucas go up against the devbot again in a totally separate challenge to Season Beta, which is which is amazing. And again, our presence will be there on set, creating high-end visual effects and 3D content for
Yeah, it's amazing. Some of these 3D effects that you guys are talking about, like these 3D avatars we keep seeing. Tell us a little bit about those, because they're unique. I've never seen anyone do that in a racing series before.
Well, that started off as just an experiment here. Me and Ryan are always trying to learn new animation techniques and things like that in our free time. And I took a head scan of us both. I found this new app. And Ryan comes in, I've turned us into these dancing little avatars. And then Ryan obviously is thinking, like, how can we incorporate this with Roborace? They'll love this. But well, we didn't know. We thought they might not.
That's the thing. So I think when we actually found out about the technology with 3D avatars, and I think, bear in mind that Roborace is sport using technology right now. And it's perfect time with restrictions and the pandemic.
Oh man!
And
this is so cool watching this. But my question for you is, how did the teams react? Did you guys have to scan them in their sleep or something? Do they even know?
I mean, there's between Roborace and the team, and it's managed by architects.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think the internet's lagging out again a little bit. But did you hear my question about how the teams react when they saw their avatars on those little characters?
Can you hear me?
Their faces. Okay, great, awesome, cool. All right, well, yeah. Tell us about your favorite animation, if you guys have one. Each of you.
So it does cutting out, but
oh darn.
It really is groundbreaking. Yeah. It just allows us to get the teams onto the track on location with Season Beta, because obviously they're coding the car, running the car autonomously, remotely. So no one is actually there at the Las Vegas Speedway, which is where Season Beta is now moving forward from Mission 5, and it's Mission 3 actually. So it just allows us to just bring the teams onto event.
Oh, here we go. We've got some ideas that don't always go through because of maybe health and safety. Me jumping underneath a car maybe wasn't the best idea to put out there. I think you put it on your LinkedIn and you've got a few comments like, remove this. I don't care if it's
This is what the real charge cable looks like for the bet.
Exactly. I mean, like, so when we're on location, especially Las Vegas, the weather rapidly changes. So I think with Mission 3, we lost power pretty quickly into day one of the event. So us as a team and Roborace is sort of immediately react to what's going on and create something cool that goes out on the platform. So as an audience, if you're following us on all the social channels, which I hope you all are. I mean, Sof, you must be, surely. You're following us.
Well, you guys are amazing. It all sounds super awesome, exciting. Where can everyone watch it all? Your content.
Every single digital platform you can imagine. They're absolutely everywhere. We've got an amazing YouTube.
We got more when
platforms
you're working.
What's going on here at Roborace?
Did you get that?
Darn. All right, guys. Well, sorry, it's cutting out a little bit, but wanted to thank you so much for your time and hopefully see you out in Mission 5. So, peace. Look forward to talking to you guys soon.
Thank you.
All right, take care. See you later. All right. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing about all the Roborace missions behind the scenes. We aim to make each event better and better every time. Now we got something really exciting for you. Ex-F1 driver and Formula E world champion Lucas Di Grassi has been working with us for some time now. Some pretty special stuff. We like to call it the Lucas Challenge, and it's a groundbreaking test between AI and real I, being human intelligence. Can a car controlled by AI beat a car controlled by a human? Well, we caught up with legend Lucas Di Grassi earlier this week to talk about his yet-to-be-released documentary film and his feelings about this experiment. Let's check it out right now.
Launching in 3, 2, 1.
I grew up of course, wanted to drive for Formula One. So I did the steps, Formula 3, Formula 2, Formula 1, all with combustion engines. And I'm very lucky that since I became a professional driver when I was 23 to now, and I'm 36. So in 13 years, I've seen more change and a bigger transition in motorsport than probably the last 50 years before that. So I've seen when I joined F1, it started the hybrid era, and then I moved to Le Mans, which was also the hybrid supercar, sports car, and then electric cars with Formula E, and then autonomous electric cars with Roborace. So in a span of 13 years, I've seen from internal combustion engines all the way through autonomous electric vehicles. And I'm very fortunate to be living through this time. I think this will never happen again, that we go through all these transition phases and all these categories, and the whole sport reinventing itself to be sustainable, to be electric. And yeah, of course, the future also looks amazing with software controlled vehicles, but participating on the transition to it, it's always very, it only happens a few times in centuries. I joined Roborace as an advisor to Dennis. So I met Dennis actually before arrival. So I was working with Dennis in electric 4-wheel bicycle, solar powered idea that I had that I wanted to do. And Dennis was my partner in this idea. And then when Roborace started, he said, look, Lucas, I want you to be my advisor. And then after 1 year as being an advisor, he put me as a CEO of Roborace. And this name, Season Alpha, was created by me, actually. Yeah, I didn't want it to call Season 1 because Formula E was Season 1 and 2. I didn't want to call the Grand Prix because that was Formula 1. So we went more or less in a software release. When you have a software release, you have they have the Alpha, the Beta, and so on. So I said, well, why we don't do Season Alpha and Beta before we start Season 1 and 2, because at the moment we are experiencing with different types of format. So when I was CEO of Roborace, which was from 2017 to 2019, we structure a little bit more the racing side, the challenges, which type of challenges, where to do the races, how to transmit, how to broadcast it, how to which data would be relevant. So yeah, I've seen Roborace grow from a very, very small idea to become established, or the only autonomous racing series in the world, autonomous vehicles racing series in the world. We broke a couple of world records. We did Goodwood, we did many different racetracks, and currently we have this challenge, which is the AI versus myself, that we are measuring the progress of AI against a professional driver. The Lucas challenge is, actually there was a bet between me and Dennis. We are sitting in Goodwood having lunch, and me and Dennis were talking, and I was saying, I think it's going to take a long time for the algorithm to be better than a human. And Dennis said, no, it will be fast. And it's not going to be fast. It's going to be fast. It's not going to be fast. I said, okay, let's do a bet. And Dennis' bet initially was 2020, that the algorithm was faster, but because of COVID, because of a series of delays, we are extending this bet indefinitely. But so there was this bet that by July 2020, the car would be already better than me. And that was, I think, in 2018, we had this lunch. It was the first time we went to Goodwood. And yeah, so far I'm winning the bet. So far the car hasn't been able to be, it is getting much closer and much better, but so far it hasn't been able to beat my time in any racetrack, in any condition. Yeah, it will beat me. It's just a matter of time, and it's just a matter of the metrics that is used. For example, today, a conventional car uses a lot of computing power to drive the car. There's a computer that defines the acceleration, defines the power application, defines a series of things that the car is doing, the ABS control and so on. So do you want to put the the controls on the human side, because the humans, we are very limited. We can only have 3 inputs in the car. So the inputs that we have in the car is basically steering, throttle, and brake. That's it. You cannot do much more than this. The AI eventually can steer one wheel independent of the other. So the AI can steer 4 wheels independently. It can power 4 wheels in a different way. It can brake one wheel and accelerate the other wheel while turning. But the human cannot do that without the computer helping with torque vectoring, for example. So do you want to put the systems to be the same as the human, so the AI has only these 3 inputs? Or you want to leave AI free to do whatever he wants with the car, given the conditions that the car has, all these hardware systems? So at the moment, we are kind of leveling up. I think, no, the computer is already better than an average professional driver, or let's say the average high amateur driver. So I really believe that in the future, the coach, the driver coach, will be an AI and a software system that could help people to drive in a safer way and in a more fun way. This is exactly what I see when I look at the data and I analyze the data during our runs. I see where is the computer faster than me? Where am I faster than the computer? Is that high speed corners, low speed, braking, acceleration? And then everything is getting closer. So at one point it will get better. And in some parts is already better than me. So for example, the reaction on the start light, there is a human electrochemical limit in terms of time between receiving the light information from the start lights and accelerating the car. There is a 2/3 of a second delay. That's normal. That's so normal actually that in the Olympics, that you start to run in between 0 and 2/10 after the gun went out, means that you jump start. It's physically impossible to do so. While in semiconductors processing units, we're talking about milliseconds. So it's hundreds of times quicker than a human already. So we see local improvements and local wins for the AI, but so far in the overall picture, it has not won the challenge yet, but is getting closer. So the next race is scheduled for the 13th and 14th of May in the UK, in a track that Roborace and Arrival, they know it very well, so they've been preparing it for a long time. And hopefully this time the conditions, last year the conditions were changing, which makes it even more difficult for us to validate who's better, because you have the different track conditions, so different lap times. So hopefully the conditions are stable and we can see on the back-to-back how the Arrival algorithm has evolved. Really looking forward to go there. It has been pretty much a year, 8-9 months that I haven't driven against the AI. So really looking forward to go back and have this challenge.
So big shout out and a huge thanks to Lucas for taking the time to speak with us at Roborace. You're a legend. Can't wait to see that documentary when it comes out. We'll let you know right here on the show when you can catch the full film with the incredible journey yourself. Well, we're just about the end of the show right now. We're almost out of time, but I just want to remind you, if I could talk right, when to catch us all again. So Inside the Circuit is back next Thursday, May 6th, and Mission 5 dates have now been confirmed. Although it's a little ways off, we'll be back in Las Vegas on June 18th and 19th for rounds 11 and 12. Hopefully I get to be there and catch all the action in person. Fingers crossed. In terms of staying connected, you guys can get in touch with us on the Roborace Twitch channel. We're happy to respond to your comments in the chat, and I'm on there too. So in between sessions, I can type to you guys too. So please keep all the comments coming. We love reading them and responding. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show, and I'll see you again next week. Signing off for now. Peace.